What's approaching the supreme moment, reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead.
What's good? Okay, so here's another unit that I wanted to showcase with the new categories, but also a few of you guys had commented requesting this as well. This is going to be the Super Agility type Super Saiyan XENO Trunks that has been around for a little while, but you don't really hear about him too much. However, he is on the Vegeta's Lineage category, and it is a much improved leader skill boost overall to units, so let's go ahead and test them out. As always, let's cover the stats and then we'll move into the gameplay itself. Again, this XENO Trunks leader skill is agility type plus 2 key HP attack and defense 40%, pretty much a relevant leader skill there. Super attack will cause supreme damage to enemy, but also raises attack for 6 turns, so with the additional attacks in the potential system, you could raise his attack with the supers. The passive skill isn't too bad. It's a key plus 2 and attack increase of 80% at the start of the turn. So he at least gets an 80% boost with the passive skill, and that'll help out tremendously with the overall output. In terms of links, you're looking at patrols plus 2 key. You're not really going to see units that have that link skill much. Cold Judgment is 20% increase to defense. Golden Warriors plus 1 key, enemies defense minus 2000. Prepare for Battles plus 2 key. Super Saiyan is 10% increase to attack. Xenoverse is 20% increase to attack. And Shattering the Limit is plus 2 key. Again, this guy, along with the Vegeta's Lineage category, falls into Hybrid Saiyans and Time Travelers. At 100% potential, you're looking at HP levels of 14,264. Attack is going to be 13,205 and defense is 9,471. 12 Ki Multiplier being 135%. So again, it's a little bit unfortunate that he does have the Xenoverse link skill, which is 20% to attack. However, it's very limited in terms of some of the units that have that. Now, the physical version, the non-Super Saiyan, also has that link skill, so you could certainly link those two together. But I did bring in other units that are support. You'll see within the first part of the video, you'll see the Super Vegeta and the Bra unit. The second half, you'll actually see the SR Super Saiyan GT Trunks. Just kind of put him in there to see how it'll do. I mean, he does provide a key boost and 30% to attack and defense, along with having the Super Saiyan link skill. So, it's going to help the XENO Trunks, in terms of having a good partner for that. What was I going to say? Yeah, the link sets aren't bad. You do at least have Super Saiyan and Shattering the Limit and Prepare for Battle. Cold Judgment is a link skill he's going to share with a lot of the other Trunks units. I did include both the LRs, the free-to-play Prime Battle Trunks, as well as the physical type LR Trunks, just to see how the units would link up within this type of setup. So like I said, I did try to mix it up a little bit. You see right there where that's a pretty good rotation for the XENO Trunks with Super Vegeta and the Bra unit. You're looking at 25% from Vegeta's passive and 40% from the Bra unit, along with some key boost. Not that it's necessarily an issue, but overall attack, you're definitely getting a pretty big boost there. Again, the second half, you'll be seeing the SR version of GT Trunks, just to I'm sure some people are curious if he's even usable in some of the teams, so I did include that unit just to test out how he would do overall, just from not only a support standpoint, but also basically how much in damage the unit will actually take, because at the end of the day, it is an SR unit. Well, awakens to an SSR, but you get the concept. But he could certainly be a liability because of that. So I wouldn't necessarily prefer to use that unit by any means, but I think it's a decent enough support unit that if you absolutely have to, you could certainly include him on the team. For this one, you do see the Super Saiyan 2 Bardock unit, just because as you all know, he's a pretty good support unit with the 30% increase to attack for all allies as part of the passive. That's with if the HP is above 30%. However, the unit itself is pretty decent too in terms of attack potential. Now, within this setup, he's not that great because he's only getting 120% boost because of Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta's secondary leader skill, which is For super strength type, it's +3 ki and HP attack and defense increase of 120%. So he's not getting the maximized leader skill boost. However, he's a decent enough unit to include on this sort of video. And I did try to include rotations where you do also see the Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta as well. I didn't provide as much footage in terms of like the super attack, let alone the active skill, just to, the point of this video is to highlight the Super Saiyan XENO Trunks anyhow, but you will see bits and pieces of the new Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta as well. So again, he does have the ability to raise attack as part of the six turn limit with the super attack. So if you do get an additional super, you will see an influx toward the overall attack stats. So it could definitely make or break a unit sometimes, but for the most part, I don't see this unit being used that often. I think the people that requested this unit for a showcase with this category is basically just out of curiosity. I don't know how many people will actually use this unit. He's certainly a viable option if you're lacking team building units within not only Vegeta's category, which is the Vegeta lineage, but even like time travelers and hybrid Saiyans. If you are lacking some units in your deck, he's a decent enough unit that he's still a usable option. Like 80% to attack increase as part of the passive is still pretty good. And I mean, like 1 million plus in damage output or the attack potential is still pretty good. There's a lot of other units that put out much less in total output. So again, he's not a bad unit. He's just not as great as some of the units might be that you might have in your deck. So just keep that in mind. I wanted to do this basically just out of my own curiosity, honestly. But the biggest, I don't know, I guess the biggest thing is you don't really hear about this unit too often nowadays. So given that Vegeta's lineage does provide a 170% increase to both attack and defense, versus hybrid Saiyans and time travelers, where attack is pretty much limited to about 130%. So with per lead, you're looking at a substantial increase in overall output. So again, that's really what the point of this was, in terms of seeing how this guy would do in a current team setup. So he's not a bad option. I don't necessarily recommend that you rainbow this unit. I think it's a decent enough unit that you could consider it, but chances are you have much better units in your deck. And if you're like me and looking to add to the collection, then that's certainly an option for you. But I wouldn't necessarily recommend using the potential orbs on this guy. I mean, I just think there's better units available, even with the Vegeta's lineage category. I mean, you have a pretty good amount of free-to-play units that could certainly fall into that, let alone you have 2 free-to-play LR units that fall into that category, which is the LR Future Trunks and LR Super Saiyan Vegeta. So you do have options within that, where you don't have to necessarily rainbow this unit. But again, for those that were curious, hopefully you're enjoying the video and actually being able to see how this guy does on the new category. That's really the purpose of it. Again, I did switch things up just to provide a little bit more diversity in terms of units available. For this, boss rush run through, it's the units pretty much linked up with the Super Saiyan 2 Bardock for the most part. And then you have LR Trunks in the mix, just because of, honestly, I figured people would want to see this unit linked up with either of the LR Future Trunks units, just to see how they would link up together. Of course, the Super Saiyan Blue Coat Vegeta is a free-to-play unit, and he's actually pretty good as well. It does get an easy A. I think it should be available in Global sometime soon, but he's a pretty good unit overall, very solid free-to-play unit. So, that unit does have Shattering the Limit. That does help out with the Ki Super Saiyan, obviously. So most of the traditional link sets you're looking to have with this Xeno Trunks. So that's pretty much the format of this one. Just kind of trying to keep it realistic, but also providing support units as much as possible in the rotation. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, 1 million plus in potential output is certainly pretty good, given that this unit is actually pretty old. So overall, still a solid unit. I don't think he'll be within like a top pick for anybody's team necessarily, but you know, overall a decent unit nevertheless. And I think most people just wanted to see this guy at 100% on the new category, just for, you know, curiosity and entertainment purposes. So that's pretty much it with this one. So again, as always, thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys watching and checking out the videos. I'm sure I'll have another one coming up, but definitely stay tuned for that. And as always, I'll check you guys later.